So in your header is usually where you put your name, you could put your number and your email. Don't put things like your address, but one thing I would say that a lot of students are not doing right now, they're not putting in their LinkedIn URL. And your digital footprint is extremely important. So if your LinkedIn's not up to scratch, just try and put in some qualifications, etc. You need to make sure that you've got a strong headline in your LinkedIn bio. You need to make sure you're exactly, clearly saying that you're a graduate, you're a student, and write out any jobs that you're doing. So in the header, LinkedIn needs to be that for sure, because employers will look at you, they will check you, even if they say they don't, they definitely will. So the second part is the personal summary. I really recommend putting in a personal summary. And the reason for this is if you're just putting the rest of the application, like experience all the way down, you're not showing that you tailored your application for that specific role. So they'll just think you're sending in a generic CV. You don't want that. So in your personal statement or summary, there's 3 main key things that you need to highlight. The first opening sentence should clearly identify who you are / what you're doing. So for example, you're a graduate in,
business management and marketing.
Okay, you can just take a picture back there. So you want to clearly state out what you are, whether you're a graduate, you're an intern, you're a student, whatever you are, make sure you put that in. The second thing is you want to clearly describe what you offer or what you specialize in. So successfully, increase brand visibility by 20% during the university campaign. So you want to make sure you're putting in some form of results or what you can offer them. The third thing you want to put in is the last sentence. You want to show how you can contribute to their company long term and what value you can offer. So your personal summary needs to be structured exactly like this. So first talk about who you are, second is exactly the value you can bring and what you can offer, and the third thing is your long-term goals and how they'll tie it. So that's how you need to structure your personal summary. When it comes to experience, you may not obviously have as much experience right now, but have you done any other part-time jobs that don't directly relate to the role you're applying for in finance? I applied for tech consulting. I've been a content creator for 3 years. That's the only work experience I had. I also worked in the NHS for 2 weeks. None of that ties into tech consultant. So what you need to do, like I said, go in the job description, see what skills they're looking for. You can use AI, ask ChatGPT. Literally just paste the job description to ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT to say, oh, here's a job description, this is my experience. How can I make this tailored to my experience and how can I use this in order to be a good applicant? You can literally do that. So your experience, one key takeaway in your experience is, first of all, you shouldn't be writing in big blocks or big paragraphs. You should not be doing that, because one thing I need to let you know is that applicants, when they apply, they don't know about something called ATS. So if you're applying to a big company, they are using something called applicant tracking systems. And what these do is kind of like AI. It's not a recruiter looking at your CVs, it's AI. They're going to scan through your CV and they're going to look for keywords that directly match the job description. So you need to, again, use a job description. I'm going to keep coming back to that. But in experience, use bullet points, use the direct skills, and at the end of each one, don't just list out what you've said. Again, don't just say, oh, I did admin. Say, here is a quantifiable result. Design social media content for store-wide campaigns, increasing online engagement by 25%. So you need to say either a number or some sort of impact you created, because this is going to show them that you are actually someone who brings value, who is not just talking the talk, but actually someone who can contribute. Again, what's another example? Promotions, targeting younger demographics. So you're literally telling them the impact you created and what exactly you did. The next step is education. At the top, you want to put in whatever your highest level of education is, whether it's college, whether it's university, put it in at the top. And again, degree, A-levels, whatever you did, and the dates at the top. That's pretty simple. But what a lot of people miss out on is the bullet points underneath. Again, I'm going to recommend to use ChatGPT for this. You want to make sure that in your key modules, you did finance. You want to do finance, but you did what at A-level?
Maths, econ, and psych.
Maths and
Econ and psychology.
Okay. So econ and psychology. So again, go into ChatGPT, say I did maths, econ and psychology. What are some modules that I did? Try and remember some modules you did, and tie it into finance and say this is exactly how I can apply. And list out your key modules, because this will show them your exact skills and that you are a fit. The second thing you need to do, if you've done any form of coursework, any form of dissertation that relates directly to this job description, you want to make sure that you put that in, because that will show them, look, this is someone who's done a bit of extra research and they know what they're talking about. Any achievements, any academic achievements you have, put it in as well. Although it may not be directly relevant, you still want to make sure you're putting in your achievements because that's what's going to differentiate you to other candidates. High school's pretty straightforward. Obviously, just list out your A levels. Some candidates list them downwards, or they put the exact percentages. Don't do that. Just list it exactly like this. You don't have to list out all your exact grades if you don't want to, but feel free to do that as well. You want to make sure that you're translating it in a way that shows that you can bring value. So what I recommend is, even though people list out their certifications, they usually just stop at, oh, I did Google Digital Garage, and they just list it out and they stop, or they put the date. You don't want to do that. Next to it, you want to make sure that you're putting a key takeaway, something that you learned directly that relates to the job. So let's say, for me specifically, for tech consulting, in my job description, they said something like, we want someone who is analytical, right? So I had a certification in Introduction to Cybersecurity. And yes, while that is relevant, this can apply to everything. So I specifically highlighted a key takeaway that showed I developed my analytical experience. So you want to make sure you're tying it exactly in that way. Add a key takeaway, and onto the key takeaway, add in how this can value the employer. So that's exactly what I would do. And the last part, skills, it kind of merges in the same way. You want to make sure you're including two things in your skills. Obviously, technical skills. Technical skills are things like marketing tools, social media management, like Canva. They're all like softwares. And second thing is soft skills. Soft skills are things like problem solving, strong communication, creativity, collaboration, and list them according to your proficiency. So say I'm proficient in data analysis, or I'm intermediate in Canva, or I'm a beginner in Google Analytics, because some job descriptions, they require you to be proficient in something. So you want to make sure that you're listing out that proficiency exactly. If your CV goes into 2 pages, that's fine, mine did. Just make sure it doesn't exceed 2. Just don't try and cram it all into one, because if I were a recruiter and I was looking at one CV that was really crammed, and then one that was 2 pages, I prefer the 2 pages because I'd be struggling to make sense of the first one.